From expecting the unexpected to another professional heavyweight boxing contest being not happening because of another drug test. What's up, guys? Welcome to the next Mr. GLOAT podcast. Today, we have a doozy of great boxing matches, but unfortunately, a lot has fallen down. Now, just recently, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, as recording this video, Angelina Lucas defeated Alice Mimbiu. And even though we don't have information on BoxRec of how she won the fight, she defeated Alice from Zambia, who was ranked 49, still ranked 49, with Angelina being ranked number 3. We don't know how good she is, and even though looking up the information and looking her up on Instagram and how there's not a lot of haters, there's not a lot of haters online actually disliking her as much. They're just supporting her for the heck of it. Even though the content and the stuff that's been outside of the boxing ring has been seen, but if Angelina has changed her ways, as long as, even though if YouTuber Narera Fights Stories actually did upload the video, put in information, all we can say is if Angelina Lucas would become champion, if she would win one of the 4 major organizations, that only depends how lucky she can get. We don't know if she's waiting for Trinurka Johnson to vacate her titles, because the resume that Angelina has fought in, taking on someone ranked 49, is not something to be pleased about, because that's just being a cherry-picked fighter. But again, Angelina did for what she did, and even though she's ranked in the top 50 of female boxers right now, so again, I can't really argue about that in perspective. So we're going to have to wait and see when that time comes and try to move forward and see what will happen when her next fight comes. She's still young, and technically she might even overcome the past, and maybe if she does and becomes champion, depending on how many belts she'll win, because she's won a lot of the minor weight organization world titles, the IBO, the women's IBF, IBA, WBF, but not the major organizations. So we're just going to have to wait and see. She's not a major champion yet, but again, the way she's won titles is possible. And also, guys, speaking about anyone else trying to get their big break in controversy, Jarrell Big Baby Miller is back in action. Even though he defeated Kingsley Abe in January the 31st, a few months ago, which is pretty good. And even though that guy is taking on Dante Stone on June the 20th, and Dante Stone already lost his chance in the WBC Grand Prix heavyweight by an unbelievable victory loss against a cruiserweight fighter from Argentina who won the whole thing. Jarrell Miller would fight against Lanier Perot. And even though Lanier does have a younger brother who's only 6 or 7 years older than him, like he's 6 and 7 years older than his brother Daniel, and he's 13-0 as well. The boxing match took place live in Las Vegas, Nevada. An interesting event, or a venue that I haven't heard of, and I won't spell it out properly. But that entire show only had undefeated fighters taking on some nobody fighters, and that's about it. Lanier Perot did not put on a good performance. Even though he dominated the first couple rounds of the fight, he went on to blow out everything else he did. But before you know it, he came in, and after the end of round 2, for some reason, Jarrell just found his weakness. He went on, and by round 3 to round 8, he obliterated him. And just to let you viewers know, Jarrell Miller was bald. So keep that in mind. He wasn't wearing hair, he was bald. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But man, but still, that moment was still funny. Crazy. But still, either way, Jarrell Miller went on. Big Baby just proved this Cuban fighter who the boss is. And after pushing him in, because keep this in mind, the jabs, the sets, again, Jarrell was leading off his left foot, and Lanier Perot was leading off with his right foot in the match. So you can tell that this match was pretty interesting because Lanier was a southpaw fighter and Jarrell was an orthodox. So the first couple rounds were interesting for Lanier to actually put on a good performance, and he did okay, even though blocking, not getting a lot of punches, and even though Jarrell was the one actually trying to attack him in the first couple rounds, but again, body punches, not a lot of stuff happened, and even though Jarrell was the one trying to throw as much jabs as he could, and even though after round 2 he did start to push and attack Jarrell, and there was a moment where he stumbled Jarrell during the first minute of the second round. But again, it wasn't like that was all forgotten because, and by the way, I forgot to mention this. They stated that this was the WBA heavyweight title eliminator. So my point is, I don't know if Miller is going to fight Murad Gassiev, or is he going to box the champion himself, Alexander Usyk? Or is he going to get an unlucky opportunity because keep this in mind, guys, because we're only 1 month away from Alexander Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven, and I've already had my own moments of talking about this off camera, but I'm not going to talk about my prediction of that fight yet, but I do have my moments. But like I said before, guys, the fight was sloppy. They were both quieting off heads to each other in the fight, and it wasn't all that bad, but the entirety of the first 6 rounds of the fight were dangerously interesting enough for anyone else to say that Jarrell finally found the opportunity, and he did. He obliterated him. He crashed in every single bit of it as he did. There was a moment in the 6th round where both were clinching each other, and then Lanier just shoved off ahead to Jarrell and pushed him to the ropes. And unfortunately, referee Thomas Taylor went in and just hauled it off the fight to give them warning for, I guess, butting or shoving while in a clinch. And by the way, the punches being thrown by Miller were crazy. Both of these guys landed total punches. And even after a few or so rounds, even though, yes, Perot was managing to land a good amount of punches, but Miller was more active on the jab punches and the punches he was throwing total in the fight, even though if he wasn't landing a lot of punches in the first 6 rounds, which does say on Calpu Box, which I have found information of that, but he was more of the aggressor and more of the person taking more punching in the action in the fight during that entirety of the fight. Of course, by round 9, Lanier did actually come back out of nowhere and started to make a fight out of it again. But it wasn't that good enough. Even in round 10, he still got charcoaled so much because Miller was on fire. And I almost had round 9 an interesting round, in my opinion, because how both guys were just... It wasn't an entertaining round, but it wasn't a boring round. But I did have my doubts on that round because I never thought Miller dominated the round as much, but it was close for him instead. But in round 11, even after getting trampled in the championship rounds, the 11th round became a good round for Lanier, because Lanier came in, he tried to outbox and outweigh him back, and Miller lost out his balance, and mostly from not taking a lot of punches as he did. So when Lanier came into the 11th round, I was expecting Miller to just choke his way out, and Lanier and his Cuban brothers were just going to get lucky in the contender when he won that 11th round, because I thought, oh, geez, I can't believe Miller is going to choke this. But no, in the 12th and final round, both guys were setting up body punches, upstairs, downstairs, uppercuts, cross. It doesn't matter what they throwed. And Miller was throwing a lot more and landing a lot, and more punches from body, maybe low blow, who knows. The 12th and final round was for Miller, and I scored the fight 117 to 111. Two judges had it 117 to 111, and one judge had it way close. He had it 115 to 113 for Miller. Either way, the right guy won, and both guys hugged it out during the end of the fight, even when they clinched each other when the bell rung. The referee didn't have to stop it, but again, who knows? But again, it is funny. And by the way, guys, I do love some of the comments because it is interesting. Because as reading out some of the comments on a highlight video that I did saw yesterday, which is the information I mostly found, and the full fight I have seen that didn't show the highlights, shown funny videos, such as a comment stating, "Oh, I see Miller decided to embrace the baldness. Oh, Miller left his wig at home." Well, I really can't say much about that. And it is crazy that that one person in the comments stated, "Man, this dude is over 300 pounds and he just went 12 rounds like it's nothing." I gotta look up Jarrell Miller's weight. Okay, so wow. So this is interesting because I know that Jarrell Miller. So guys, the least amount of weight that Jarrell Miller ever weighed in his life was. All right, so he was 242 pounds in his fourth pro fight back in December 2012. 242. Wow, he even gained over 260 and 270 the next year, and 286. Damn, he was 242 in December the 19th of 2012, and then he weighed 286 against Joey Delajeco in January 2013. Which ended in a 4-round unanimous decision draw because Miller was deducted 2 points for pushing, which, yeah, that's dumb. What, he weighed over 44 extra pounds a month later? Dude, Jarrell Miller did not care about his weight. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah, he weighed 280, 70 pounds. The first time, wow, he was even 296, and in August, he weighed 296. And then a year later, in July 2017, he took on Gerard Washington to weigh 298 and 3/4. He lost a few good pounds. And then in April, he took on Jonathan Dupas. And he first weighed 300 pounds over in his career. And he never went under 300 again. Yeah, Jarrell Miller, I don't know. His weight is different than I expected. Lanier Peru was 251 and a half, which is kind of crazy. So, by the way, Lanier Peru is, well, he's outranked. He's ranked 64, which is not a good place anymore. His brother Danier is number 60, and I want to say good luck to him because if Danier can actually come out against his brother's loss, then who knows? Like his brother Danier is 230 pounds in his career at 6'5", so he better use that weight properly. And with 13 wins and 10 knockouts, and his brother only 13 wins and 8 knockouts. I hope it's 8 knockouts. 8 knockouts. Yeah, I just hope he can do something better than his brother. But good luck with that. By the way, like I said before, Tara Moana would take on a guy named Bowie Tupau in a couple days from now as recording this. Since his great victory against Curtis Harper, the guy that walked out of the ring and got beaten up by other great fighters later on. So I can't expect much about that to be said. By the way, guys, I never want to do this, but considering we're at almost the 15-minute mark, guys, how about we read some comments on my videos to see what we got? So, ladies and gentlemen, I had to ban one person on my channel because he could not ignore the past. He he was just an internet troll, just trying to screw people over. He was just this person was just an internet troll. I forgot his name, other than he just had an adorable anime picture of his of that. He just had an anime picture, which is what his whole account was, and he was just saying horrible things about my past and such, and misinformation that I don't know why. I even went online to make comments on people about my past, so troll people on the internet. So I had to get rid of it. How about we find a comment on episode 11 where a guy that goes by the name of Dude, did you kill your cat? No, my cat died because of a broken heart. Luca Dune 052. My father went to the hospital. He went on, lived in a retirement home from August until his passing in January the 30th of 2026. During the hospital, I was never there at the time. My father was suffering from arthritis and other problems, and my cat had a broken heart because when my father was never home, my father and my cat, Lucky Day, were both bond to each other. He took care of my father as best he could, but when my father was never home, my cat, he had a broken heart, and it just suffered him for the rest of his life. And of course it was my fault because I never took my cat to an animal hospital or something, or a appointment or something to have him to take his shots. Because ever since hearing about T. Martin, the guy that does Super Cooper Sunday with him and his girlfriend and his two dogs, Cooper and Coda, which I don't know if any of them are still alive today, but I haven't seen their channel in over 2 years now. They have a cat named Bella, a black cat. They took him to an animal clinic to have him to take her shots, and they cost over $1,000. And my father told me, don't do it, because if that's going to take a lot of money, then we have to save that money. So technically, I never took my cat to the animal shelter to have his shots because my father told me we would be wasting money when I told him about the person that took shots for his cat Bella on Super Cooper Sunday. So that was the reason. So even though my cat, I don't know if my cat would have survived or if he would still be alive today, even if he did take his shots. But again, cats have hearts too. And even though when my father went to the hospital and to a retirement home for a long time, my cat never became the same again. And he just felt lonely and such. And again, I was trying to take people out of that situation. So there's nothing I could do. It is the way life goes. And I'm sure it is what it is. And I just to let you know, I did actually make a comment about you, Luca Dunn 052. I also did reply to your comment when you told me about my cat, and I told you all the information. Well, this is what he had to say. He said, so you took an animal knowing you were too poor to take care of it properly, monster. You're not wrong about that. But again, I was trying my best to push on as best I could. Again, I think people online have to understand that I was living in a home with no mother, no one to take care of. I could not take care of my father. Guys, I think you viewers have to understand one thing, that people have to understand one thing. And guys, I just want you viewers to know, this is going to be the only time I'm ever going to talk about this on my podcast. I'm never going to talk about this again until the end of this video. So people are going to, so people are going to keep talking about this, then you got another thing coming. But I think people have to understand one thing. I was living in an environment where it was just so, it was a tough life. It was a tough life, and I think people have to understand that I could never take care of my father. I never wanted to take care of my father. And my brother, he had a psychotic problem. He had a psychotic break. He had thyroid cancer. And it happened during a time back 4 years ago in May, 4 years ago in 2022, when he had a problem, when he actually was working in an outside job in the hot sun with no water for over several hours, and he came back with all these marks and this whole stuff of burning and third-degree burns or out with sunburn, and that affected his life, and he never became the same again. And it suffered him so much since. And just to let people know, I've talked about this story a lot. I have. So I think people have to keep to stop putting yourself in that situation because there's no point in arguing about this anymore because there's just no point anymore. So I think people have to people just have to I think people have to be more specific in the future to just let bygones be bygones. So, and then that's what I'm trying to say, and I think it's probably for the best to do that. So, if people don't mind to just let bygones be bygones and just move on, and I can have my own stuff to do in life, and after this is over, then it is over. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens because at the end of the day, we're just trying our best to do everything we can to move on and try to live out a life as best we could because we're not going to live here forever. But again, we're trying our best to keep ourselves together as long as we can. And that's what I'm trying to do. Anyway. By the way, let's get on with other comments. Do we have any other assortments out there? We'll put that on to perspective. Okay. You're in a misogynist? All right, I'm going to have to comment this guy because he just said I'm a misogynist, misogynist, racist. I don't know what that word means. Okay, how about we do a Zoom call? Oh my, I wish the letter Z on my keyboard wasn't broken. Oh my gosh. Okay, my Zoom my letter key is already broken right now. That stinks. All right. Give me a second here. No, I don't want that. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to have talk with people in conversations because I'm trying to. Give me a second here. All right, let me do this. And have a conversation so I can show you that all of the stuff people are talking about me is all in the past. What would you say about that? Okay, give me a second here. I'm just trying to have a conversation with this person. So, because I already had to block out one person online about Hunger Games shit for brains. Sir, if you don't behave, then I block you. I've been on YouTube for 9 years and I know what I did wrong, but I was trying to go back to the roots before this AI crap existed, did. All I wanted is to collab with friends and not being alone. If you don't behave by the end of this month, then you and I are not going to do the... Where's my keyboard? Oh God, where's my keyboard? Oh, there. The Zoom interview. So behave. I'm not going to stop by doing what I'm doing of what I'm trying to do is right. Guys, I don't know why people have to be trolls on the internet, but I just hope this person can wake up, and because I'm tired of people not giving me a chance. If people are going to stop me from actually trying to not do what I'm trying to do, then you got another thing coming. Because if it's not gonna, because guys, I'm not gonna stop by doing this stuff. Guys, I'm already trying to set out new information. I'm trying to do other podcasts and collab with people, which might be just no more than a 1 day thing, just like the Joe Rogan experience. But I do want to be with people, just like Opie and Anthony when they used to do stuff on Sirius XM. So, but the real thing I'm trying to do, guys, I'm trying to make it to the career-wise as quick as I can before it's all over, because I'm trying to have a family, I'm trying to have kids and such. I'm trying to do everything I can and trying to push on and do everything I can to try to see what I can do while I'm still here in this world. Because if there's a reason why I'm still here, who knows? And guys, let me iterate one more thing just to let you viewers know. I don't know if people are going to keep on pushing my luck, but I think you people online have to be careful. If any of you people are going to keep throwing out trolling comments and horrific stuff about my past, because there's other people out there that can do more violent things. People can take a gun and kill people, and then they can send out messages and say, well, hey, that person online, and there's other people online that couldn't forgive about my past, so I might as well shoot a cop in the brain and blow their head off. Well, it's a good thing I'm not like that type of person, because I think people online are just so troll, because people can get away with it. And if the police aren't going to do nothing about it, if that person gets out of jail, he'll blow their heads off because they didn't do nothing about it. So it just goes to show you how people keep effing with the law, because people start effing with the law and all heck breaks loose. And then people have to start blaming on that person. And then the predator has to be blamed so much while you have other people doing this other stuff. But no one are going to start arguing about the troll and people and the trolls on the internet. So I think for you people have to start waking up and just stop doing this whole crap. So what's my advice to people? My advice to you people is to get your lazy butts off, go outside, walk around, and start thinking about your life instead of being an online internet that's just likes to ruin people's lives. Because if you don't know who they are, why don't you get to talk to them? And I wouldn't mind talking to people. And guys, I'm not going to stop myself from talking to VTubers or even interviewing them and having a good time with people that are my favorite people that I want to talk to. And because I've already sent out 5 and 6 links online, getting to talk to people to let's do an interview, because just like how Opie and Anthony used to do on Sirius XM, or even Sam and Jim Norton used to do on their content when they used to interview guys like Nancy Grace or Diamond Dallas Page and many other people. So I wouldn't mind doing that type of stuff right now as we speak. And I'm open to all suggestions to do that so we can go our lengths and paths. Because guys, if Alinity can move on with her past and what she did in the past was bad, then who knows? Then maybe it is okay. Maybe Boogie 2988 is a victim and he was treated for no reason by people online and he got pushed because ever since he divorced his wife, we don't know if there was any abuse about that other than I just found that to be an act, just like Tourette's guy and Angry Grandpa, which is also the reason why my content was that wild, because I was trying to make my content is wild enough and trying to make it into a WWE thing. I told people online that my content and stuff, yelling at my dad and such, was all a work. It wasn't real. Yes, I was trying to make it real as possible so people online will find it entertaining and we can enjoy it. So that's my own idea of what I was trying to do. It didn't work. And I had so many ideas on YouTube that I was pushing it so much that people just could not do it. So the more I tried to do it, I was trying to get rid of all the AI content, but people just wouldn't listen to me. There was reasons why I was trying to do. I was pushing it every single day as best I could, no matter what the cause was. And that's the truth. So I wish people can try to understand that. If I just could understand. Guys, I'm just saying, I'm giving chances for everyone else out there to let bygones be bygones. For what Alinity did in the past is on the past. For what Emily did doing a live stream in front of Mr. Beast and the studio and how she exposed that, just let that be bygones be bygones. And by the way, guys, if people ever have kids or a family, is it just too much to say to yourself, why not just quit online media and just care about raising a family? If you're already a married person, you're getting married, why not just forget about it and just move on, say your retirement, and do that? Because, guys, just to let you viewers know, I started my YouTube channel back in May 15th, 2017. And it only took me like 4 months to upload my first video. And my idea about this was, if I can become a successful, popular YouTuber in a decade by 2017, then I can quit YouTube and move on. And the more hype I get, the more attention I can get to the outside world, then I can actually become a NASCAR driver or even a professional wrestler. So I pushed my way to that every single time to make myself more of the online hope. And then when I'm done on YouTube, I can just go into public and forget about the stuff and just retire. I'm done doing Twitch. I'm done doing YouTube. I did all that. And then I'll just go on and do what I do and just let the social media get away. So that's the reason why I push my luck further in 2023 and 2024, trying to make my content, uploading a bunch of amateur videos to get popular, to get more, so I can get the attention. But people like you on trolls were not caring. I was promoting my content 24/7 for everyone, but everyone weren't listening to me because AI and the new media were pushing my luck every single day, and you people were never giving me a chance. I had to do what I had to do. It didn't work. I tried so many ideas, millions of other stuff, and all you people were doing, and the YouTube algorithm were ignoring me. I had to do what I had to do to scream at my father, try to push my luck, make my content legit, try to do stuff similar like Boogie 2988 did when he was being Francis, or trying to do like the Angry Grandpa or the psycho kid that shot his father on YouTube when he killed him, which was all a work. All of that stuff was a work, and I did that by pushing the work in. So if people online aren't going to understand that, then you're just going to push your luck. If you put the police on me and I go to jail and I get out, but you people get away with it, then that means I have to push my luck as further as I can, because if people aren't going to listen to me, or even if the law and everyone else are ignoring it, then you have to understand that there's other people out there that are more violent and dangerous. So you be glad that I'm not that much of a violent person. And if you have to understand, look at where I am right now. I'm not living at my home anymore. I'm living somewhere else where I'm not alone. I have people that trust me and I trust them. And I have new friends. And by the way, guys, I used to I used to go to a society, which I don't do anymore. I don't know what it's called. It's a society where people with low functioning autistic and other people that don't do much. We used to go bowling on Friday, and I never went there anymore because I was high functioning and I didn't deserve to be there. And I used to talk to a bald guy, a skinny bald guy, and a guy with a beard. His name used to be is Tyler, and we still talk today. I don't go to society anymore. Mostly, I go somewhere else for activities, but he used to have problem. His father never cared about him. No one did. He was living a tough life. He went to a lot of stuff. He got in trouble, and no one could help him. He was living in a family life, similar to what happened to Sonny Liston when he was beaten by his father, or the time when Michael Jackson and his brothers were beaten by their father from disciplinarian for everything else because they were taking their career seriously. They were living in matter of life, and my friend was over the same thing. And he also has another friend of his that's in his 40s right now, which he's not a married man. He only cares about doing one job that's mostly for helping people and helping people with stability problems, because there's other people out there that are having problems as well. And even though they never exposed their stuff online like I did, there's other people out there that don't care because the government are the ones responsible for this stuff. And I think you people have to understand that there's more stuff out there other than just me. And there's other people online that we should just ignore and just let them move on with their careers. And whatever happened to Pokimane, hey, look, if there's a reason why Pokimane quit her job or do everything else, whatever. Like, guys, Pokimane doesn't have to do anything else. If Pokimane wants to quit her career, then why not do it? If she wants to run a cookie job or do her sponsoring cookies, do it. But again, is it okay to say to yourself, why not just not do any of this? Like, maybe I should just retire from doing streaming and just have a husband? Everyone has a great life. Everyone has a chance. And even hearing that she already said that she's already marrying herself, the time when she just brought herself a wedding ring of herself to marry herself, which I just heard about it a day ago. But again, my point is, I think what we all have to understand is there's a lot of people out there that are suffering already. And I think we all have to understand there's people that are trolls online. And there's other people that are suffering so much that they feel that they are doing stuff, that they're doing the stuff they're doing for right. They're trying to do stuff right. They're trying to do as best they can to bring back to the community. And the stuff I'm trying to bring back to my community is a couple of things. One is mostly for the entirety of New England, whether it's Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, is to bring back professional boxing at its finest again. Just like Rocky Marciano, Willie Pep, John L. Sullivan, Willie Pep again, Marvin Hagler, the greatest fighters of all time. Maybe we can bring them back again and try to bring in new talented boxers and see if we can bring back a major champion. And if I can be a trainer or a coach or even hype up a fighter again, we'll do that. And the second thing I want to bring back to the community is see if we can bring in the popularity as it used to be, because my community is to try to bring in NASCAR. If we can actually find a new NASCAR driver in this century. So there's goals for that, for what I try to do, and that's my idea. Now, guys, just to let people know, I'm still trying to sign off to become a NASCAR driver, but people do not know who I am. There's reasons why I push my career on YouTube because of that, and I was trying to push that limit to get the attention so people would listen to me and we can actually do the right thing. Again, with all that being said, it's tough enough to do it for what it is. But again, we're going to have to wait and see when that time comes for what it is. Okay, well, I've already been almost 40 minutes talking about that for over an hour, so I'm going to end this episode and redo another episode as we speak. But there is one more information I will point out, and it is this. With Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani happening on May the 2nd, we already have a lot of great shows going on at that time, so we're going to have to wait and see. with David Benavidez and wow, Gilberto Ramirez. Wow. It's going to be a doozy to find out what's going to happen. But to be honest, we'll see what happens. And people, if there's any people online that don't know what's going on, just ignore the comments and we'll see what happens. So that's all I'm going to say today. We're just going to see what happens next time because it's going to be a doozy. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, everybody. We'll see what happens. But just to let you viewers know, this is going to be the only time I'm ever going to talk about this. If I ever do talk about this stuff, it will be for interviewing people. If people have their meanings or their opinions, then that would be the stuff I'll talk. But this entire podcast is all about sports. So we'll be glad to see you guys next time. So take care now.